You mentioned two retail locations, not current plans for more than that. When you think about those two locations, what are they to the business? If they're not, critical, mainly sales channels for you, what are they?
So, funny story. The woman at Glossier who actually opened the first Glossier showroom was telling us yesterday at All Hands that she was on a plane on the way back to New York from London, and she was wearing a sweatshirt that said Glossier. We sell these sweatshirts. We've sold out several times. And the flight attendant asked her, "Oh my God, do you like Glossier?" She said, "Yeah." She said, "It's my first stop as soon as I get off this plane in New York. I live in London, and in New York City, the first place I want to go is to Glossier." And this is what we hear from 50% of people who go and wait in line, rain or shine, at a sixth floor walk-up showroom in Soho, or an 1,100 square foot shop on Melrose Place, is because it's this pilgrimage in many ways. It's like the height of engagement for a customer, and we have. Last year, 100,000 pieces of tagged content on Glossier, a lot, tagging Glossier, a lot of which was taken in these experiences, and these, this got over 500 million impressions, this content. So in many ways, a visit to our showroom, which is, it's 50% out of state and international, it's really like a landmark for fans and followers of the brand to go experience what it means to be sort of, a part of this ecosystem that we're building.
And so the upside of that, the power of that, compared to sort of the sales that would come from more brick and mortar stores around the country. You obviously, how do you measure how those stack up against each other?
It feels like the right thing to do to really invest in a couple of, really, if you go into, I'm not sure if you've been to the one in LA, but these are kind of like Disneyland-like experiences. These are not designed to optimize for sales per square foot. This is designed for engagement. It would be very hard, I think, to recreate, that kind of format in hundreds of stores. They would have to be much more standardized. So for us at this moment, the right decision for our customer is to keep these as really, sort of destinations, and centralize the engagement and the conversations for people online. But what's interesting, even in saying that, is that everything that we're building digitally is actually just mimicking the offline experience that we've created in our store, which is completely different from the experience you'd get at a multi-brand store for beauty like Sephora, where 50% of people who go in are not speaking to anyone who works there and are just taking out their iPhones and are looking up reviews and Googling reviews of products online, seeking that connection by choosing who they want to engage with. And so what happens at a Glossier, store, if you go, is people stay in there for hours. They are talking to each other.
Please, time to leave.
Our editors who work there, none of whom actually have worked in beauty, are really there to be connectors and facilitators of conversations between, the people who are visiting. So, another story, someone came out. I was recently speaking to an editor who said, yeah, there was a woman here yesterday, we called her name, because everything's through an iPad system, and they called her name, and no one showed up, and then they were, closing like 45 minutes later, and they just tried to call it again. She was like, oh, that's me, yeah, I was just, hanging out. So, this is what goes on there, and the connections that are formed inside of, these experiences between people who are saying, what color is that you're, I love that, that looks really good, should I try this on? Oh yeah, okay.
It's the first time I've worn it. So.
Yeah, but this is what happens, and that's the power of beauty to really connect people, and what we're just trying to scale that digitally.